Here we see a Paulk vine. Paulk was released a couple years ago from the University of Georgia as a self-fertile large berry size to compete with Supreme and to be a pollinator of Supreme. In the past, self-fertile vines have had smaller berry size than have female vines, and that's one of the reasons why Georgia vineyards still have a lot of female vines in them, despite the fact that they then need a pollinizer. A big female vine can produce a 15-gram berry. In the past, self-fertile vines have been maxed out at about 10 or 11 grams. Paulk is getting up to the 14, 15-gram berry size, and so it's getting very similar to some of the big females. And for that reason, we think Paulk may have a use in terms of both as a pollinizer for the large berry size as well as a cultivar in its own right, and maybe replacing some of those. Supreme is a little bit fussy to grow. The vine's a little bit weak. The Paulk is a little bit more vigorous of vine. You can see here the vine's growing quite well. And we have a fairly good crop load within the vine. When we look at the berry in comparison to Supreme, these are Supreme berries. As you can see, looking very similar to the Paulk berry in size and appearance, with the Paulk maybe being a little more purple, whereas the Supreme is fully black. But I think you could put them together fairly well, and they match up pretty good. Paulk is a mid to late season variety. This is August 15th, and it's just getting ready to pick. And there aren't going to be many early berries in a Paulk vine. The Supreme will have early berries that you can go over and pick for early season sales. Paulk is pretty consistent in ripening, and it's going to have very few, if any, early season berries. But there will be some berries that hang in there for the late season. One of the things we like about Paulk is how easy it is to pick. It has a longer pedicel. The pedicels are the attachment between the stem and the berry. And because of these long pedicels, the berries are kind of loose within the cluster. That allows you to reach in and get behind the berry and twist it when you pick it. And you can get usually a drier stem scar when you can pick them that way. Whereas the Supreme, they'll be tight within the cluster, and so you'll have to grab the tip of the berry and squeeze and pick it. And when you squeeze on it and pick it at the time, a lot of times you get stem split and stem stare. And so usually in Supreme, we're only getting 40-50% dry stem scar. The Paulk, we can get up to 80-90% dry stem scar. So you're going to lose less berries, and they're going to look better in the clamshell because they're not losing any juice within the berry. So that's Paulk, good mid to late season, self-fertile cultivar, large berry size, should be quite useful for the fresh fruit market.